Hello. Can I be heard? Am I audible? Says here there are 3 people in here, supposedly. Something to that effect. Can I be heard? Hello. Goody goody. I'll wait a few minutes, see if anyone else comes in here. If not, we'll just screw around and have fun, I guess. I don't know. I'm bored, I'm tired, and it's too hot for me to do my job. And I had fun live streaming last time I live streamed, so I figured, you know what? What the hell? Why not? Give it a try, see what happens. And I figured, why not just do it with a game that involves a lot of reading, where I can employ my magnificent voice. Yes, yes. So, we'll give it a bit. We'll wait a few minutes, see if anyone else shows up. Share the link around to a few places, I guess. Discord ain't the only place. Do it. Okay, got about 4 people so far. Also, just as a quick question, how freaky and or uncanny is my weird little face camera down there in the corner? Like, is it like, because I'm not using my actual webcam or my face because, it does not look good. I do not have a good webcam, and I'm a fat bastard, and I am not wearing a shirt right now, and no one wants to see my naked chest. So, none of that. It's kind of a makeshift solution, taking the sort of channel art for that has like a decent looking depiction of my face with just a little crescent of a black shape used for lip flaps. Does it look good? Or does it look like horror incarnate? I don't know which. Okay. Okie dokie, that's good, that's good. Give it until about the timer turns to 4:50, and then we'll get this show on the road. Now, I have played this game before. I should point that out. If anyone's, like, pops into this late or puts on a VOD later or what have you, I have played this before, but I have not played on high difficulties, and I'm not about to start. Because I like to have fun with my games, and I am not a masochist unless I'm playing Dark Souls. But even then, I tend to prefer Bloodborne because that's not as masochistic. That's more sadistic. So, but for games like this, where it's very story-driven, I lean into the story. That's pretty much the whole thing I do. So, if you're here to watch someone get their ass handed to them on a silver platter on high difficulty, you're not gonna find much here. Just managing expectations. I'm here to have a good time and do all of the narrating and all of the voicing and all of the dialogue boxes. I have voice volume set to 0. 0. So that I can do it. For practice and for funsies. The voice acting in this game, where it shows up, is really good. Do not get me wrong. It is very good. But, you know, I wanna. This is a voice acting channel first and foremost, and there's a lot of reading in this game, so why not? And one more bit of expectation management I just want to real quickly lay out there. If anyone is expecting me to do the full game, probably not going to happen. I'm just, again, this is a purely spur of the moment boredom stream. I'm just doing this because I'm bored. So unless this goes absurdly freaking well and a lot of people scream at me to do it more and I feel the itch to do so, we're probably only going to play like the opening few hours of the game and then I'm probably going to bounce out. So we're just here to hang out. This is hanging out. Pillars of Eternity is the backdrop. Okie dokie. It is about 4:50, so I think we've done enough waiting. I'm not a big enough channel to justify having more than single-digit stream viewer counts anyway, especially since I don't monetize any of the streams I do, at least not as of this moment in time, so it doesn't get propagated anywhere, so what can you do? Alright. I think that's about enough waiting. Let's go ahead and, let's hit new game. Story time. Obsidian Entertainment presents Pillars of Eternity. That's a face back there. Gnarly looking dude. Rangers are bonded to their animal companions, and the pair work best as a team. Animal companions do not have powerful attacks, but can be effective at pinning an enemy down for the ranger to finish off. Huzzah! Also, apologies if there's constant hissing in the background. I do have a fan going, because I need to have a fan going, or I could very well suffer from heat exhaustion, so bear with me on that. But yes, hello, hi, how's everyone doing? Why is this taking so long to load? Oh. Ah! 5 wagons grope blindly for... Nope, hey, stop scrolling. Shit, okay, that is a problem. Okay, god damn it, okay. We'll wait for it to scroll down, and then I'll scroll up. It's fine. Oh, wait, hold on a second. I just realized that the latency is, okay. Alright, I just realized how far behind the stream is. As I'm saying this, looking at the stream preview, it's only now going to the Pillars of Eternity, like, splash screen after I hit new game, so it's a bit behind. It is a bit behind. Okay. I cannot scroll up. It does not let me scroll up. Okay. That is unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. We'll just hit replay. 5 wagons grope blindly for the path on a starless night, their master glancing ever upward to the skies for assurance that he is on the right course. A dim lantern, his only protection against the encroaching darkness. But the skies bring no comfort, shining no light, betraying no hint of what they know. The caravan carries travelers, bound for the frontier hamlet of Gilded Vale, you among them, where a local lord has offered land and wealth to settlers from abroad looking for a fresh start. You have suddenly taken ill, sweating and shivering, and one of the other travelers signals for the caravan master to stop on your behalf. He pulls up just in time to avoid plowing into the trunk of a fallen tree that bars the way ahead. You will go no further tonight. Oh, if only it were that simple. Now we get to make our character. So, I kind of wish there were more of you so that I could do that streamer thing where I put it to a vote. But there aren't any, Oh, hello. Hello, Armstrong. Welcome. Are you going to be sticking around, or are you just popping in to say hi and then leaving? I don't know what your deal is. Hello? Hi, Quentin. Hello. How are you? As a reminder, stream latency is very much a thing right now, so it's going to be a bit before I see your messages, but they will pop up and I will respond. It just might take a bit after you type them for me to see them, so bear with me. Okay, so I think I have an idea on how I'm going to handle this. All right. Appreciate it, Armstrong. So I have an idea. I think I know what I'm going to do here. I do not have anywhere near a big enough audience or a good enough latency at the moment to justify trying to do any of that sort of voting thing that a lot of live streamers might do. Like, if any of you watched, Josh Strife Hayes' recent live streams of Mass Effect 1, he put his entire character creation process to a vote for his audience. I don't have enough of you to justify that. I don't even know how to try that. For one thing, I'm not on Twitch. I'm on YouTube, so very different systems. But still. So what we're going to do instead is I'm just going to put it up to coin flips and dice rolls on my phone, if I can find an appropriate dice roller. Give me a moment here while I look for one. Banter amongst yourselves in the interim as I hunt for numerical generators. Actually, you know what? That would actually be a good... I just thought occurred to me of another game that would actually be really good for me to do on stream. Basically, any visual novel, but particularly, I know that, like, this is, like, old news, but, like, Doki Doki Literature Club would be a good one, because there's no voice acting in that, except for, like, 1 or 2 instances. The problem is that I already know that game front, back, left, right, in, and out, thanks to watching other people get scared shitless by it, so I don't think there would actually be much value to be had, except as a hanging out method. Alright, but anyway, custom dice roller on my phone. Roll a die. Does this let me randomly does this let me assign the numbers? No. Oh wait, no it does. Okay, so currently we have 2 options, man or woman. It's purely cosmetic. Okay, Scootaloo dashes. Living Legacy is a thing that kind of happens as we have time for it. As for Fallout Equestria, I'll get back to that in time. I put out a community post about it, but the reason that is kind of on hold for the time being for the next few weeks is because I have an audiobook contract, like actually paying licensed work that I have to focus on, because I only have until the middle of August to get it done. So that takes priority. I'll come back to Fallout Equestria as soon as that's done, though. Now, let's go ahead and do this, shall we? I shall roll 1 6-sided die. On a 1, a 2, or a 3, we shall be a man. On a 4, 5, or a 6, we shall be a woman. Where's the roll button? Go. Okay. There we go. And stop. 5. We are a woman. I do not like this dice roller. I have physical dice. I'll use those. So, we shall be a woman. A woman's role in Eora is largely dependent on where she is from. In the Aedir Empire, Valian Republics, and the Deerwood, women occupy many domestic, educational, and organizational roles. They are the primary hunters, soldiers, and leaders of the tribes of Nasitak. In Glanfath and Ixamadal, women and men have more fluid social roles. In all societies, there are exceptions to the rule, and women can be found in a wide variety of stations and professions. So we are a woman. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 6 playable races to choose from. There's humans. Humans, commonly called folk, are the most common race in the Deerwood, the Aedir Empire, Old Valia, and the Valian Republics. Though not as large as the towering Amawa, humans are known for their strength and willpower. They gain +1 to resolve and +1 to their might. Next we have the Amawa. You look like a character from The Shadow over Innsmouth. The mighty Amawa are the largest of the Kith races, and are commonly found in or near oceans. Though not truly aquatic, they have an affinity for water, and many of their civilizations, such as Rawatai, are based on naval dominance. They are known for their unparalleled strength. Their might increases by 2. Next we have dwarves. By virtue of land covered and number of colonies settled, dwarves are the most well-traveled race in the world. They are commonly found in the Deerwood, the Valian Republics, and almost any colonized land. Dwarves are known for their great strength and tenacity. They receive a +2 to their might, a +1 to their constitution, but a -1 penalty to their dexterity. Next we have elves. Elves are the dominant race in Glanfath, and the white that wends, and are extremely common in the Deerwood and Aedir. Elves are known for their speed and intelligence, as well as a commonly isolationist nature. They receive a +1 to their dexterity, and a +1 to their perception. Next up are the Orlan. Orlons are the smallest of the Kith races, though many cultures don't consider them to be civilized at all. Also notable for their large ears, two-toned skin, and I don't actually know that word, but hirsute bodies, Orlons are commonly found in Glanfath, the Ixamadal Plains, and parts of the Deerwood. They are known for their mental intensity and sharp senses. Their resolve increases by +1, their perception increases by +2, but their might suffers a -1 penalty. Next up, the Godlike. The Godlike are children of the Kith, or civilized races, who have been blessed with physical aspects associated with the gods, though some do not consider it a blessing. These aspects may take many forms and often come with mystical powers. Aberrant head shapes are typical, and godlike are unable to wear protective headgear, as it is near impossible to find anything that fits. Because of their unusual nature and their inability to reproduce, godlike are often viewed with fear and wonder. They receive a +1 to their dexterity and a +1 to their intellect. So, we will roll a 6-sided die to see which of these we get. I have a dice tray here from when I play D&D with my friends, and it is all full of dice. I have 2d6, 2d10, a d12, and a d4. I'm missing a few, but that's because we don't play 5th edition. We play FFD6. So, 1d6. And let us see what we get. Hang on a sec, off the table. I don't know. 1. Okay, basic bitch mode activated. We are going to be a human. Next, there are 3 options for human subraces. First are the meadow folk. The most common humans in the Deerwood, the Meadowfolk, or Thyrton, have lived in that area for almost 2,000 years. Meadowfolk traditionally live at the edges of elven forests, working the open plains, hence their name. Most humans in the Deerwood are Thyrton. They gain fighting spirit. Once per encounter, 5 seconds after being reduced below 50% endurance, folk temporarily gain bonuses to accuracy and damage. So when they start to get hit a bunch, they hit back harder, is what I'm gathering. Endurance represents a character's short-term survivability. Okay. Next we have Ocean Folk. Ocean Folk, or Kalbandra, if I'm not getting my D's and my B's mixed up, originated near the equator, on the other side of the globe, and are currently the most widespread human group in that region. But they have also migrated to the far reaches of the world. Ocean Folk are the dominant culture in the Vailian republics and are also common in the Deerwood. They also get fighting spirit. Next up, we get the Savannah Folk, who also get fighting spirit. The Savannah Folk, or Natlan, come originally from just south of the equator and, with the exception of some groups that migrated north, have remained in the same location for over 10,000 years. The name Natlan literally means original. While quite common in Red Karis, Savannah Folk are not usually seen in the Deerwood and the Vailian republics. So, we have 3 options, and a 6-sided die. On a 1 or a 2, we shall be a Meadowfolk. On a 3 or a 4, we shall be an Ocean Folk. On a 5 or a 6, we shall be a Savannah Folk. Oh, I need to just keep my fucking dice tray in front of me during this. My microphone almost fell on top of me. That would have been a bad. And roll it. 2, we shall be a Meadowfolk. We're just kind of being all kinds of boring today, aren't we? Next. Ooh, a lot of options. Let me just real quickly get the number here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's tricky. I don't have an 11-sided die. Okay, well, let's just go through and read these in summary, shall we? Barbarian. Brutes, madmen, berserkers. Those city-dwelling people often use the term barbarian with a dose of disrespect. These rural warriors are respected by their communities for their ferocity and fearsome presence on the battlefield. I already lost my spot. Barbarians have a special, almost religious role in some cultures. But in many places, the undisciplined, fearless style of the barbarian is simply how warriors conduct themselves. Their starting ability is Carnage. When barbarians hit with melee attacks, they automatically make reduced damage attacks at all other enemies within a short distance of the target. So they hit an enemy, and then they immediately hit everything around that enemy too. They get very high endurance, very high health, average accuracy, and low deflection. Their athletics increases by 2, and their survival increases by 1. Un momento. Right, I'm sorry. I need to be right back. I am being bothered by people at my door. I'll take care of that and be back in just a moment. Mine apologies, I am back now. Sorry about that, had to bring in something from the mail. So, next up we have the Chanter. In every culture across Aora, there are chanters. Many historians consider chanters to be the most ancient workers of magic. Their hallowed phrases, stirring the collective memory of wayward souls around them, compelling them to generate magical effects in a kind of reenactment. In some societies, chanters form organized groups of storytellers and researchers, but in most parts of the world, they're just time-honored part of local folk traditions. Their starting ability is phrases and chants. All chanters can continuously speak chants made up of magical phrases. Phrases produce passive effects and help build a chanter's power until they can use an invocation. Invocations are powerful magical effects that chanters can create after they have spoken a required number of phrases through their chants. They gain increased lore and mechanics. They have very low endurance, low health, but average accuracy and very high deflection. So, kind of a support bard class, if I'm reading that right. A cipher! A recent discovery in the Eastern Reach, ciphers were once called Brishalgun, mind hunters, by the Glanfathans. Ciphers have the ability to directly contact and manipulate another person's soul and psyche, using an ally's or enemy's essence as the focus for their magic. Though most ciphers are still found in the Eastern Reach, practitioners of the techniques have spread through the known world. They are gaining acceptance over time, but are generally distrusted, especially by the uneducated. Their starting ability is powers. Ciphers can directly target allies and enemies with powerful soul-focused effects. These powers cost focus, which ciphers build through the use of their soul whip. They gain a bonus to their stealth, lore, and mechanics. They have very low endurance, low health, average accuracy, and average deflection. So very much a weird mage, a weird spellcaster. I just realized looking at the chat preview that as of right now, the chat is hovering directly over all of the things I'm reading right now. Okay, hold on a second. Let me fix that. Okay. I'll just, we'll put you right here for now. We'll move you back once I'm in actual gameplay. Next up, we have druids. Animists at heart, druids tap into the spiritual power that flows through the simple living things of Aora. Plants, animals, and sometimes even living stone. While not necessarily religious, druids do have a reverence for the natural world and a keen interest in understanding its mysteries. In most cultures, druids are understood as a sort of primal magician, but among the Glanfathans, Nasitaki, and many rural cultures, they may have high positions of influence and authority. Their starting abilities include spirit shifting. All druids have mastered one animalistic form. These forms give the druid strong melee abilities and grant an additional power while the druid is shifted. Druids also gain spells, having access to a variety of offensive and some support-oriented spells. Every 2 levels, druids automatically gain access to an additional set of spells. Hello, Uncle Karma. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good day. Hope everyone's having a good day. Okay, let's see here. Initially, druid spells can be cast a limited number of times per rest, but as druids gain power, their weaker spells eventually shift to per encounter use. Alrighty, neat. They gain a bonus to their lore and survival. They have very low endurance, low health, very low accuracy, and average deflection, so they very much rely on their animalistic form. Next up, we have the one we're probably going to land on, if the pattern thus far is to be believed, the fighter. Fighters form the front line of disciplined armies across the Eastern Reach. Though they are most commonly found in cultures with an organized martial structure, fighters can also be encountered as wandering mercenaries, bodyguards, and other types of sellswords. The common element that unifies fighters is their heavy focus on endurance and melee defense. Their starting ability is constant recovery. Fighters continually regenerate endurance at a modest rate during combat, so they're tanky. They can survive a lot of damage. At least they can over time if they're not ganged up on too quickly. Barbarians have much higher health, but they have a bonus to their athletics, lore, and survival, average endurance, high health, very high accuracy, and very high deflection, so very much front-line fighters. Normal. No. Bora boring. Bora boring. Next up is the monk. Monks belong to a variety of fighting orders that have sprung up in the Ixmodel and the Western Reach over the past few centuries. Dora done. Thank you, Judge. While many monastic orders can trace their teachings to the enduring founder Tlatak, I don't know. Ori Ordinary. Hey now, I don't want to go putting any kind of rudeness on Ori's name, okay? We respect that forest spirit. I should stream myself playing that sometime. It's been too long since I've played those games. But individual organizations vary greatly in their focus, morality, and ethics. Common folk respect the incredible discipline of monks, but see them as an odd, unpredictable bunch who may not be entirely sane. Even mercenaries and other adventurers aren't sure what to make of them. The monk's starting abilities include transcendent suffering. So, Bloodborne. When monks have no weapons equipped, their unarmed strikes are exceptionally powerful and continue to increase in damage as they gain levels. So just, I'm gonna engage you in fisticuffs. Next ability is wounds. As monks are damaged, their pain generates wounds. Wounds can be used to power many of the monk's special abilities. They gain bonuses to stealth, athletics, and survival. They have average endurance, very high health and accuracy, and high deflection. Next up, the paladin. Like the armor. Paladins are martial zealots, devoted to a god, a ruler, or even a way of life. They can be found in any culture where a fanatical group of like-minded individuals have formed a warrior society dedicated to advancing their cause. Among those aligned to their worldview, paladins are viewed with respect and admiration, if a bit of fear. Many paladins hold leadership positions in armies and mercenary companies, but in the heat of battle, their fanaticism often overrules the chain of command and common sense. Their starting ability is faith and conviction. Paladins have an inherent bonus to all of their defenses. Over the course of the game, the value of this bonus may shift based on the reputation of the paladin gains relative to the behaviors that are preferred by his or her order. They gain a bonus to their athletics and lore. They have average endurance, high health, average accuracy, and average deflection. A priest. Priests are devotees of Eora's deities and practitioners of religious magic. While all priests dedicate themselves to specific gods, priests' power is actually derived from their personal beliefs. In contrast to most paladins, priests tend to focus on philosophy, teaching, and the relationship of religious organizations with common folk. The reception of priests in any given part of the world depends largely on how their god is revered or reviled by the people who live there. Their starting abilities include Holy Radiance, which generates a modest amount of endurance for allies around the priest, so passive healing. Any enemy vessels caught in the area take burn damage and may be frightened. Over the course of the game, the power of this ability may shift based on the reputation the priest gains relative to the behaviors that are preferred by his or her deity. They also have access to a variety of support and some offensive-oriented spells. Every 2 levels, priests automatically gain access to an additional set of spells. Initially, their spells can be cast a limited number of times per rest. As priests gain power, their weaker spells eventually shift to per-encounter use. They gain a bonus to athletics and lore. They have very low endurance, low health, very low accuracy, and low deflection. So very much do not put this person in the front lines of battle. They hang back and they heal everyone else. Next up, Ranger. Rangers are warriors of the woodlands and masters of the hunt, always partnered with soul-bonded animal companions that can be found in wild spaces all over the world. Pretty much, yeah. As their lifestyles often tend toward independence and isolation, it is rare for rangers to become an integral part of a large fighting force, though they are often employed as scouts and guides. Their starting ability is Animal Companion. All rangers share a strong bond with an animal companion. The companion fights at the ranger's command and is extremely valuable for its ability to run interference. Animal companions don't do much damage, but they have high damage reduction. The link between the ranger and companion is powerful. If one goes down in battle, the other suffers as well. Rangers gain a bonus to their stealth and survival. They have very low endurance, high health, very high accuracy, and average deflection. 2 more classes to read through. We have the Rogue. Rogues are vicious killers, feared for the brutality of their attacks. They can be found as often in dark back alleys as the heart of battlefield skirmishes. Though unpredictable and undisciplined, rogues are commonly used as shock troops. What the fuck is a shock troop? Whatever. Or I honestly don't actually know what that means in terms of military lingo. So if anyone happens to know that, just drop it in chat and I'll read it in a bit. Alright, so rogues are commonly used as shock troops or as part of a surprise assault. Their withering attacks breaking enemy ranks and morale. Rogues tend to congregate in larger numbers in cities where they can steadily be employed as mercenaries or hired muscle. Their starting ability is Sneak Attack, which applies bonus damage to the rogue's ranged and melee weapon attacks when the target has any of the following afflictions: blinded, flanked, hobbled, paralyzed, petrified, prone, stuck, stunned, or weakened. It also applies to any target the rogue strikes with a weapon within the first 2 seconds of combat. They gain a bonus to their stealth and mechanics. They have very low endurance, low health, very high accuracy, and low deflection. And finally, Wizard. The masters of academic magic. Wizards are students of arcane traditions that stretch back beyond the boundaries of recorded history. Wizards are a highly organized group, often forming academies or guilds devoted to research and development in magical studies, and tend to favor environments where inquiry, experimentation, debate, and the dissemination of knowledge are encouraged. Many accomplished wizards eventually become known for their eccentricity, their egos, and their unquenchable interest in all things arcane and occult. Thank you, Judge. Now, the wizard's starting abilities are Arcane Assault, a mid-range attack that hits a small area for raw damage that can leave targets dazed. Wizards have access to a variety of offensive and personal defense spells. Unlike priests and druids, wizards learn individual spells that they store in and cast directly from their grimoires. Grimoires can only hold 4 spells of each spell level, which motivates wizards to keep multiple grimoires for different needs. Every 2 levels, wizards gain access to an additional set of spells. However, they can automatically learn 1 spell of any level they can access each time they advance. Wizards also have the option of learning spells from grimoires they find or buy. Initially, their spells can be cast a limited number of times per rest. As wizards gain power, their weaker spells eventually shift to per encounter use. They gain a +2 to their lore, a +1 to their mechanics. They have very low endurance, low health, very low accuracy, and very low deflection. Glass cannons, indeed. So, that is 11 classes, and there is no 11-sided die on my table. So what I'm thinking is we will roll my 1d12, and if I roll a 12, I re-roll. Does that sound fair to everyone? Okie dokie. Ba 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 da ba 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 ba. 11. 11. Okay, so we are not doing Dora Dunn because we are playing a wizard. So now we have to pick our spells. We get to pick 4 of these. These have very long descriptions. So for the time being, I am not going to be reading all of these off and then picking them quite randomly. We'll do that when we get to more like backstory shit, like culture. So for now, I'm actually just going to pick things that, based on my knowledge of the game, I know will be at least somewhat useful. Well, actually, hold on. How many of these are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There are 14 of these. There are 14 spells. You know what? No. I committed. I decided we would be doing this shit with a lot of randomization. I'm a man of my word. We are going to just roll random fucking numbers and just pick 4 completely random spells. So I'm going to launch up a Roll20 room so I can have custom dice sides and just roll quickly. So here's what's going to happen. I am going to roll 4d14 and let's see what I get. 5, 9, 5, and 1. So I have to re-roll one of these. So 5, 9, 8, and 1. So 1 is the dazzling lights. 5, let's do 8 next. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is jolting touch. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is fan of flames. So it was 5, 9, 5, 5, 9, 8, 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. So we have chosen Arkamir's Dazzling Lights, Fan of Flames, Jolting Touch, and Kalakoth's Sunless Grasp as our spells. Seems like an interesting list. Next, our attributes. I'm gonna just do that. Next, culture. Here we go. Now we're back to the dice rolls. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different cultures to choose from. Let's go through these one at a time, shall we? So first of all, we have the Aedir. The Aedir Empire is currently the largest and most powerful force in this part of the world. It is centered around the equator and has a tropical climate. Though the Empire has colonies in numerous areas of the world, Greater Aedir is at its heart and houses the majority of its human and elven nations. The Deadfire Archipelago, consisting of the nation of Nasatak, dozens of Amawa settlements, and hundreds of lawless, pirate-infested islands that stretch along the southern sea. Deadfire is home to boreal dwarves, Amawa, and a mixed variety of other races. Deadfire Archipelago is the last stop for anyone headed east. A multitude of monstrous sea creatures infest the ocean beyond, making travel virtually impossible. But if we come from the Ixomatl Plains, located to the northeast of Erglanfath, the Ixomatl Plains are a large expanse of fertile savannas that are extensively farmed by human and Orlan residents. The Ixomatl culture is one of the oldest in the world, though one of the least imperialistic, having spread out little over the past several thousand years. Old Valia, once the crown jewel of the southern seas, Old Valia is now the crumbled remnants of an empire of warring merchant nations. Counting many humans and dwarves among their ranks, the old Valian countries are still forces to be reckoned with and are proud of their rich cultural heritage. Rawatai. Dominated by the Amawa nation of Rawatai, the Gulf itself is host to a number of nations, most of them Amawa, Orlan, and Dwarven. Though these countries are relatively young, they are some of the most advanced colonial settlements in the east. The Gulf is a land of riches and resources for those who can take them, though the entire coast is often pummeled by violent storms. the Living Lands, the location where the upcoming video game Avowed takes place, to my understanding. The Living Lands is the mountainous region of a large northern island renowned for its diversity of plant and animal life. Its weather is unpredictable and its ecosystems vary dramatically from valley to valley. The Living Lands are home to an assortment of races and a variety of colonial and independent settlements. And finally, the White That Wends! A large, cracked southern expanse of polar ice, the White That Wends is home to pale elves and small colonies of daring explorers, outcasts, and adventurers. While virtually no plant life grows in the White, it is home to many hardy species of dangerous animals that forage from the sea or prey upon each other to survive. Question, do you play as one custom character or can you control an army? Okay, so the way this game works is you create your character at the start. There are like developer-made companion characters that you can recruit along the course of your journey, but if you don't give a shit about any of them, you can just ignore them. As far as I know, you don't have to recruit any of them, and you can just recruit custom NPCs at inns that you come across. So doing so costs money, and they're not necessarily as optimally built as the NPCs, at least to my understand, like to the pre-made characters. I might be wrong about the optimization there because I'm not a min-maxer. I'm a story-based motherfucker. So who knows? We'll see. We will see. If we get far enough that we reach the inn, there is no background character that you can kind of pick here. You define your backstory from the start. This is very much like older traditional CRPG, like Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 style, just with a better user interface that actually looks like a usable user interface. Look, I'm sorry, I've played Baldur's Gate 1 and I enjoyed it, but the user interface was such a massive hurdle to get through. Baldur's Gate 1 is fun and all, but that user interface is a hard block for anyone with modern gaming sensibilities because it is, to put it bluntly, not well designed. The user interface, specifically. The moment-to-moment gameplay is fine. How the systems all interact, that's fine. Just the way it's visually presented to the player's perception is really hard to read. Like it takes a long time to sort of get the hang of it. Once you do, it's fine, but it's a problem. But I digress. I have already offended probably the entirety of my audience over the age of 40 with my zillennial sensibilities. Now, actually, you know what? I only recently acquired Divinity Original Sin 2, and I have not played it yet. Maybe I'll do a stream of that at some point. But for now, we need to pick our culture. So 1d7, go. 7. We are from the White That Wends. So we are a cold northern frozen land wizard. Next. Okay, hold on a second. Someone just pinged me on Discord. I'm going to go on Do Not Disturb so that you guys don't get bothered by my pings. I mean, there's voice acting in this game, too. I just have the voice sliders off so that I can do all of the narration because I love the sound of my own voice. I'm just going to come out and fucking say it. Anyway, so we have some potential. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 7 more potential backgrounds sort of furthering in with the thing. So we've picked our original culture. Now we pick our background, our upbringing. Aristocrat, you've lived your life amongst the nobility. Your days have been marked by lavish meals and extravagant parties. Your conversations peppered with talk of pedigree and bloodlines. You can be an explorer. We found the siren call of the horizon irresistible. We cannot help but wonder what lies beyond the next hill or wave, and we've built our life around finding out. We can be a laborer. Your life has been spent in the study of your craft. You trained and prepared, hoping to hone your skills and apply your trade. We can be a mystic. You've never been able to explain how the universe guides your path. Behind every task you undertake is a feeling of cosmic direction. Oh, hey, yeah, that's me, the player. I'm the cosmic direction because I'm the one with the hand that tells my people what to do. I am the omnipresent authority figure. Drifter. You never quite fit in, no matter where you go. Each new town is just a place to rest, briefly, before moving on to the next. You're more comfortable on the road, traveling the world. So the explorer, but edgy. The hunter. You live for the thrill of the chase, whether for glory or for sustenance. You have made your living, taking the lives of wild creatures. 50 brownie points if you know what character I was just trying to do an impression of. And finally, merchant. You've traded goods from all over the world, pairing items with buyers of all kinds. So, 7 possible backgrounds. 7 possible ways that we spent our lives. 3. We are a laborer. Now we can define our appearance. Right, this game uses pre-made portraits. Well. One, two, three, four, 5. Let's just randomize our appearance. Let's just create a so skin tone 1, so we can get lost in a blizzard. Our hair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Slash R, 1D15. 14. So a bit more gold and primary. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 8 times 4. I'm sorry, we're doing surprise math here, ladies and gentlemen. So 32, so 84, so R slash 1D, 34, 26. Secondary color. Exactly the same assortment. So, 1D, 34. Again, 8. It's an interesting color palette, green and red, but you know what, whatever. Now, we have 4 possible heads and 21 possible hairstyles. So, let's roll 1d4 for the head. 2, we're already on it. Hair, 1d21. 14. Honestly, that doesn't look bad. That does not look terrible at all. As for portrait, oh yeah, my custom portrait from FF14. Forgot about that. For the sake of saving time, let's just go with this girl. That she actually kind of looks vaguely like the character we've created here. All right. Feisty, stoic, smooth, sinister, noble, mystic, cocky, benevolent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 possible voice types. I do not have a D8 in my tray. So again, over here, 1D8. 6. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is no preview. Enter name. So we are a meadowfolk. We are a wizard. We are a laborer from the white that wends. And we are a woman. What name fits well with that eclectic lineup? Randy Random. No. I got it. Ronda Ronelia. What say you, my friends? Are we Ronda Ronelia? All right, at least Jadge approves. What about the rest of you? Aragon, we are a woman, Quentin. Aragon is a boy's name, and not a particularly competent boy at that. Although I do kind of see the resemblance to the movie version of the character, now that I'm looking at it. Egon. I've never played StarCraft or StarCraft 2. Not really much of an RTS person in most cases, at least not in that format. Well then, either way, I believe this is a good name. I believe this is a fun character. This is in no way an optimal build. This is in no way min-maxing, but we are playing on story mode difficulty because I am a pussy, so who cares? So, before we get into this, before we hop into this and I start doing all of the additional dubbing and narration, I'm going to be right back. Because we've been in this character creation screen for a full fucking hour, and I pride myself on trying to make sure that you guys don't, that nothing goes too terribly tits up, so here's what's gonna happen. I'm going to mute my microphone. I'm going to go grab me some water because it's fucking hot here. We're suffering a heat wave is a big part of why I'm doing this. I'm too tired to do anything else, but I wanted to do something. So I'm gonna go get some water, I'm gonna pop a cough drop, and then I'm gonna do what I should have done before I hit start streaming, and I'm gonna do some vocal warm-ups because my dubbing isn't even close to being done yet. So we will reconvene here in a few minutes, and then the adventure of Ronda Ronelia, however far it may go, may begin. See you in a bit. Ah! My voice feels great. We all here? We all back? We all ready to go? Hello. I am back. I've done some warm-ups. I'm just finishing off my cough drop. All right. I think that is enough fucking around. I believe that it is time for us to begin the adventure of Ronda Renalia. Now, one more time, for those in the back, or those who are just joining, or those watching the VOD, this is probably just a one-off thing. Don't expect us to become like a long-running series. We're just here to have some fun for a little bit, because I'm bored. But, who knows? I might get attached. But for the time being, let us begin Ronda Renalia. Done. New quest, the Gilded Vale. Journey to Gilded Vale. Oh my. Okay, I might need to do some reconfiguration of the chat's position here. About there, I think. Some of one moment. Because I want to make sure that like the actual text box is fine. Okay, there we go. So, Caravan Master Odema. The Caravan Master finishes addressing the group, his bushy red mustache and sagging jowls quivering as if for emphasis. Everybody stays close to the wagons. Got it? Stay out of the woods and beasts take you if you were planning a stroll through those ruins up there. He nods toward a looming black mass on the hillside. Whole area's crawling with hut-dwelling types who'd be happy to stick an axe in you for trespassing, so mind that you don't track mud on their sacred blazing rocks. Tonight, everybody stays put, and in the morning, we'll get the path cleared. Gilded Vale's less than a day out. Understood? At last, the Caravan Master turns to you, frowning as he looks you over. Touch of the rumbling rock could be. There's a stinging beetle around here that carries it. No, that's avowed when that comes. You'll be fine once it passes your innards. At least you don't drink water, of course. In which case you'll be dead in a day. There's a berry grows in these parts, small and pink, called a springberry, about the size of a fingernail. Give you cramps if you eat it, but the frontiersmen make a tea from it. Calms the insides. Should get you through the night. I might check around, see if I can find some. Meanwhile, I'll see if we can scare you up some water. Odema looks over his shoulder at his assistant, a lanky, intense man named Spareful, who carries an old sun-bleached bow. I know you want to hunt before it gets much darker, but see about refilling our water first. Got a sick one here. He nods in your direction. Sparfell nods and slides the worn bow over his shoulder. So, we are playing Ronda Renalia. So, a womanly voice it is. What are those huge rocks coming up out of the ground? Odema frowns. They don't got Audra where you come from? Well, it just grows up out of the ground like this. Goes deep, like tree roots. Some of it all the way to the heart of the world, if you believe the stories. More like a shell than a proper rock. Easier to work if you're a mason. Got all kinds of strange properties. Seems to have some kind of life of its own. Dies if it gets dug up, loses its luster. Folks think it probably grew at one point or another, but not these days. The soul butchers in Defiance Bay use it for different things. I've heard tell it can hold a man's soul, but I don't care to see it. Got enough to worry about without seeing something like that. What are those hello, Willison. Welcome. We are playing Rhonda Renalia. We completely randomized everything about this character, from her appearance to her class to even her backstory information, using dice rolls, because I do not have enough viewers to justify trying to do a vote system like a bigger streamer might. So I just rolled random dice, and we wound up with a meadowfolk wizard who used to be a laborer hailing from a region called the White That Wends. We're still in the tutorial opening conversation. There's normally voice acting, but I have it turned off so that I can do my magic. You don't have to randomize. You can go in as depth as you like. I just randomized it because this is just going to be a one-off stream. We're not doing this more than once, most likely. But who knows? If we get attached, we might do it some more. But for the time being, what are those ruins? Nothing you won't see half the hills of Nothing you won't see on half the hills of Erglonfath. Money to be made selling their knickknacks in Defiance Bay, if you don't mind getting stuck with Glonfath and arrows now and again. They didn't build 'em, but I'll be the effigy if they don't watch 'em like a mother bear. Of course, all the ones round here have been ransacked 10 times over. Got nothing left worth half a pound. He adds with a wink. So I hear. Tutorial message. Your character's attributes, skills, class, race, culture, and sex may all open up options for you in dialogue. These options are not necessarily superior to the other responses, but give you a wider variety of choices to select from. The manner in which someone responds to your choices depends on their individual personality and attitude. Who did build the ruins? Odema shrugs. Got different names for 'em. Settlers call 'em Ingwithans. Nobody liked 'em enough to stop 'em becoming ruins, tell you that much. Is it dangerous out here? Not if you hurry about your business. And not if the weather holds up. There's concern in his tone, but he does not elaborate. What kind of weather do they get out here? This time of year, rain mostly, and wind. But there's a different kind of wind out here time to time. Locals call it a Buick. Born out of the ether, spirit's path. Never seen it myself. Never care to. Where would I find these berries? They grow on a bush that's common round here. Kind of funny looking. You'll know it when you see it. Thought you'd have to go far off the road to find one. I'll go see about those berries then. Hold on. Take someone with you. I know you're not some helpless tenderfoot, not like most of this lot, but you drop dead. I don't want to be looking for the body. Got a schedule to keep. He scans over the travelers, resting his eyes at length on a sturdy, armor-clad woman who has spent the journey's night sleeping on uneven ground without blanket or pillow. Kalisa! Kalisa! The woman looks up on her own time. She needs to find some spring berries. Why, so she doesn't drop dead? No promises. What kind of guide says something like that? Kind you can afford. Odema chuckles and shakes his head. He looks at you. Don't listen to her. You're in good hands. He casts a sidelong glance at her. And I pay too well, if anything. Odema's small grin recedes beneath his mustache, and he is stern once more. Off with you. Eowden should have supplies. See that you're equipped before you head out. We're in harsh country. Get your berries and hurry back. And if you got so much as a tickle of wind, you drop everything and you run. Something in the air tonight. If it's a Buick, we'll shelter in the ruins. Hut dwellers be damned. Alright, so, he said Heoden should have supplies. Welcome to Pillars of Eternity. If this is your first visit to the world of Aora, you may want to watch these windows to become familiar with the tools and interfaces available to you. I've beaten this game at least once, so I have a pretty good idea of what I'm doing, so I'm not going to waste too much time on tutorials. I'll minimize them. Alright, so we have... This lady has almost my exact fucking portrait. So, she is a fighter while I'm a wizard. Seriously, look at us. It's the exact same face. The only difference is I have slightly more blush. That's funny. All right. Well, I'm also playing on story mode.
I've got sundries for sale.
Hello, Sam Riegel. I thought I turned voice acting off. You see a man wearing simple but mostly neat clothes. He's transfixed, however, by a ragged tear in the seam of his tunic. He shakes his head and laughs when he notices you. Brought a whole wagon full of goods to sell, but not enough shirts for the road. He scratches one cheek with his knuckles. It's covered with uneven stubble, as if he hasn't quite gotten used to shaving on the road. Say, is there anything you needed? I've got some basic traveling supplies for sale if you'd like to take a look. See what you've got. Okay. I didn't even click on him, he just said it. Okay, so, what's this? Oh, retraining. Neat. Okay, so, so what do I have? I have a simple wand. This chick has a battle axe and a torch. I have basic hide armor. I don't think there's really anything I need from this guy right now. These heal endurance. I'm a wizard, so I am not tanky. So I'll do I have the money? I do not have the money for a potion of minor regeneration. I do have money for lockpicks. I'll buy 2 lockpicks. And whenever I get a rogue in the party, I'll give those to them. Alright. Hold on a second. Let me real quickly save my game. Onto the random save. And let me double check something in controls really quick. Can I... Is there any button... Is there any way that I can use... No. It does not appear to be that I can use the WASD keys to move the camera around unless I do some deliberate reconfiguration. Alright, give me a second. I've got some key binding to do. Okay. Move. I can't? Okay. That's annoying. Whatever. Alright. Whoop. Where's my phone doing stuff? Okay. Sparfle. So we're out here looking for spring berries. Kind of funny looking thing, the caravan master said. He says we'll know it when we see it. And we absolutely will, because I'm holding the tab button. Actually, you know what? No. I'm not going to hold tab. That's fine. Well, this is a very chill, casual stream. We're not getting too lost in the weeds here, my good man. We're just hanging out. Deer cap mushrooms. Ooh, what's this? Footprints around this campfire are indistinct and may have been here for days or longer. Whoop. Oh shit! I found a unique item already. I found a gun. The Disappointer. Is there a reason why it's called the Disappointer? I cannot go this way. Okay. Ooh, we found some corpses. The corpse is cold to the touch, and a ripe smell wafts from it in putrid waves. A dark-crusted blood-stained besmirches its simple linen clothing. This one has more lockpicks, which I will now send to you. And some leather armor that I will send to my mage. More corpses. So, people have died in this region, and recently-ish, too. Concerning, but then again, we are aware that they're the Glanfathans squatting in these old ruins and guarding them ferociously, so trespassers get shot, but then that raises the question, are we making a wise choice waiting here? Even if it's for my sake, for my health, we got more than just me in this caravan. Lingering too long. Ooh, is this them? Nope, that is Burned Lady, which is a different type of plant. But it's fine. Oh! Wolves! Fantastic! Okay, let's do a thing here. What is that? Arcane Assault. That is my raw damage spell. I will yeet that while I send in the fighter. Unpause. Why are you going into melee range, wizard? Okay, Why the game keeps pausing? Hold on a second. Dead wolf. Wolf-eyed. I'll add that to the I'll just take that. We can sell that later. Ah, is this them? Yes, here we go. Springberry. Odema says you're a working woman. Ah, and here we get to sort of flesh out more of our backstory, which means more dice rolls incoming. So, we have three options. Blacksmith, a builder, or a cook. I have a D6. On a 1 or 2, we were a blacksmith. On a 3 or 4, we were a builder. On a 5 or 6, we were a cook. 1. Hard work at that. I was a blacksmith. Oh yeah? How was it you happened to come here? Kaliska asks. Well, we have 3 more potential options. Let's see here. Let's just roll it again. Again, going with option 1. Actually, hold on. I got blocked by my microphone base. Let's try that one more time. It really wants me to go with option 1. Okay. My master was a jealous person. He saw to it that as soon as I finished my apprenticeship, I would never be able to compete against him. I know what that feels like. Really can't trust anyone, can you? Kaliska breathes in her surroundings. Been a long time since I've been this way, but I always did like it. Lord Rydrick's offer makes a girl think, I'll give him that. You here to settle, like the rest of the lot? 1, 2, 3. No, I'm just passing through. That's usually the case with the big city, just a little ways further up the same road. Where are you headed? Got 5 options now. Oh, D10. Once our backstory is all finished being randomized, I will roleplay according to that until stream ends. So, I'm going to continue on to the city. See where that takes me. Closest one is Defiance Bay, the capital, a few days out. Got its nice places and its not so nice places, same as any city, but the Duke's a good man as I hear it. Anyway, I'm wasting time here. A damn old give me an earful. Let's be on our way. What can you tell me about Deerwood? I'm not much for history, but from what I know, it used to be part of the Adir Empire. Broke off after a war some years back. Locals here are feisty. That's how they like it. I've been out of touch, but I've been hearing weird kinds of things about it lately. People having trouble giving birth, I guess? A lot of them. Been going on for years now, but somehow it's getting worse. With an uneasy tremor in her voice, she adds, I'll have to ask my sister more about it. All right. Let's get back to camp. You know, I wouldn't hold my breath that Sparfell's getting you water anytime soon. He does what he feels like when he feels like it. We should check up on him first. Slap him around a little. Stream's just down that way. Come on, let's get your water. All right. Let's go get my water. So we saw Sparfell down here by this lamp. Sparfell is gone. No, wait, it was this lamp, I believe. Was it? Where did we see him? Everything's fine. Where was he? Where was he? Fucking, yeah. We're here, maybe. I don't know where I'm going. That bag is new. That's a new bag. Why is there a bag on the ground? What a surprise. Sparfell went hunting. At least he left the water skins. Come on. You crouch at the riverbank and dip your water skin into the cool water while Kaliska waits nearby, keeping watch. As you rise, you notice her look up sharply toward the tree line. You have gained a quest item, full water skin, added to the stash. Out of the trees emerges Sparfa, one of the guides, barely discernible in the dim moonlight. He no longer carries his bow, and there is a strangeness in his gait, his stride wobbly, as he moves toward you with labored breath. Kaliska frowns. Sparfell? Are you all right? Sparfell's toe catches on a rock, and he collapses forward in a heap, the feathered shaft of an arrow planted between his shoulders like an enemy flag. Uh-oh. We in trouble now! Ambush! Yeah. That's no bueno. Well, that's... Come on! We have to get back to camp. Yeah, we do. Okay, we'll grab some... We'll put some shit into the stash. Okay, real quickly, gonna save again. Ronda. I can hear the sounds of battle. We can safely assume. Oh, yep, nope. Got another chunky motherfucker there. And I am out of spell slots. Wait, hold on a second. I got that gun. Am I trained? Well, for one thing, I need to wait for combat to end. But am I trained in the use of guns? Can I be a wizard with a gun? My damage increases significantly, but my accuracy drops. What is the range on a wand? 10 meters. What is the range on the gun? 8 meters. My wand is just fucking better than the Disappointer. I understand now why it is called that. All right, let's go. Oh no, the merchant guy is dead. Everyone is dead. All around you lie the massacred remains of the other travelers, peppered with arrows and knife hilts, splayed and bug-eyed and filthy. Kaliska puts the back of her left hand to her mouth, as if to ward away some poisonous vapor. A handful of dark figures stands above the fallen, treading on limbs and backs and heads, jerking their axes from bodies as if from half-split logs. One of them, towering and severe, with a thick beard tasseled with knots, holds a wet blade at the neck of the man you recognize as Heodem, the last of your caravan left standing. Lay down your arms, trespasser. Do not forfeit this man's life for a fight you will lose. The ruin has not been sullied by our hands, men of our Glanfath. Your words carry no weight when I have seen the truth with my own eyes. Blood must be paid for this intrusion. So I say again, lay down your arms. Don't trust them. They mean to kill us all. Let's see here. We are very intelligent, so, judging by the string of animal teeth around your neck, I am guessing you are worshippers of Galawain. If Galawain told you to stop protecting the ruins, would you? The man frowns and motions as if to swing his axe. Heoden winces, but the blow never comes. Instead, the man cocks his head, intrigued. Of course, but he would not. It is by the command of all the gods that we accept this charge. How do you know? Because it's consistent with their beliefs? Or because it's what you were told? The man glares. It has always been known to my people. I see. And what of Galawain's edict that weakness and age must be purged by youth and strength? Do you think Galawain would want some moldy, crumbling stones to survive long after their builders have turned to dust? I am a nerd! The man's nostrils flare as he fumes. He would not. He told us otherwise. Oh, I'm sure he did. Just not you personally. But why should that stop you from killing innocents? Distracted, the man's grip falters on his axe handle, and he nearly fumbles it, affording Heoden the moment he needs to dodge out of his swing, which comes too late. Howling with rage, the man charges you instead. Get wrecked by being a fucking nerd. Okay. You will inflict a blinding strike on that man. You will immediately come after this person, while I will step forward and hit them both. Strategy! Your enemy lies supine on the ground, unable to rise. His companions now silent among the other dead. His breath comes in wheezing, fitful gasps. He looks not at you, but at the sky above you. Forgive us. Barely audible beneath his choked sighs. A whisper of wind stirs the air. At this, the man's eyes roll back as he closes them. Good. Good. The gods are just. A queer smile crosses his face. I am ready. The wind begins to swell, whipping around the camp, electric and volatile, upending pots and rattling tents like an angry spirit. You can feel it begin to seep beneath your skin, and where it pierces you, it feels as though it is rending you apart from within. Seated against a wagon wheel amidst the howling maelstrom, slashed across chest and bowel, Odema's body stirs, and with great effort he raises his sagging head. His eyes barely open. He looks directly at you. Get inside. Run! Okay, I don't need to be told twice. Let's go! This must be that Buick he was talking about earlier. Straining against a gale that threatens to pull you off your feet with every step, you set your hands in the worn folds of weathered rock and set about pulling yourself up the precipice. With a last burst of energy before your arms give out, you swing yourself up onto the ledge. Heoden trails behind, slowed by injury and delayed by early hesitation. As he nears the face of the rocks, one of the fallen attackers, who had been feigning death, lunges for Heoden and topples him onto the rocky ground. Restrained, Heoden lashes out against his fatigued assistant, but struggles to break his hold. They are close to you. From your position, you would have a good chance at hitting your mark. I will channel a bolt of energy towards the attacker as a mage. Your aim is true, and the hit jars Heoden loose. Lurching to his feet, Heoden clambers up the base of the rocks. As it nears the top, however, the wind flares, pulling him sideways and tearing one of his hands free. But, diving out onto the hard rock, you manage to catch hold of it. Securing his other hand, you pull with waning strength, and it feels as though your arms will be jerked from their sockets. They hold just long enough for Heoden to set his feet and join you on the trembling ledge. There is a deep resonance to the swelling wind now. You feel it in the rocks beneath your feet and inside the cavity of your own chest, as though it would shake the marrow from your bones. Each new gust menaces the old stones before you, loosening connections, unsettling balances. As you dart beneath the old archway, the entire portal begins to fall beneath its own weight. Y'all enjoying the narration? I hope so. What the was that? Heoden's words come out between wheezing gasps. A Buick. Hard to be. And we're lucky to be alive. And we're the only ones. We can't stay here. There could be another collapse. We're not getting out that way anyway. Let's get further inside. The lower level of the ruins has been blocked off by falling rubble. Heoden's chest rises and falls visibly with each breath. That should be far enough. But what now? We look for another way out. Storm has to die sometime. You don't seem too upset about all of this. Kaliska looks you in the eye, a volatile current running beneath her voice. Maybe you just don't know me enough to know what upset looks like. And maybe I've seen worse, too. Seen worse and kept on walking because there's nothing else to be done. And because there's other people you care about who still need you. What happened out there? Kaliska shakes her head. Windstorm, of a kind they only get in Glanfath. Not too many people live through them, so it's hard to know what's true. The Glanfathan word is Buick,
To them, it's the gods' way of reaping the souls of the land that couldn't find their own way out. But they'll take a living soul as soon as a dead one. Still got yours? I think so. And the ones who attacked us? Glenfarthans. Those would be the hut dwellers Odema warned you about. Look to be the fangs of Galawain, who are the twitchiest of the lot. They go ruin to ruin looking for fights with colonists. Poor Odema. I think he have expected this once we lost the main road. The Glenfarthans said we trespassed in the ruins. I don't believe that. Odema would never allow it. But as much as the fangs are hotheads, Glenfarthans do not attack without being provoked. Either they saw something and got the wrong idea, or... She glances down the passage beyond. Or there's looters in here with us. That's not something we need right now. Nothing to be done about everyone else, then. Come on. Let's get going.
Look left and look around. Let's go with normal speed for the time being.
Wonder who was here. See if they left anything useful behind.
Okay, a small shield. I don't know if I can use that. But left a torch. Hammer and chisel. Whoop. We got... It's fucking... Where... Eh. Oh, they're listed here. Okay. We got camping supplies! Okay, let's really quickly check out my grimoire here. See what's in here. All my spells are in here. Okay. I don't have any second level spells. Alright. Everyone's in pretty good health and endurance, so I don't think we need to sleep just now. So, let's just keep moving. So, Rhonda the Random, save, and proceed. We need to set up a formation here. Theoden's our rogue. I'll be in the back because I'm the mage. Rogue will be up front so we can spot things. And he'll go side by side with our fighter, going just a step behind so that she can provide support if needed. And I'll be back because I'm a mage. I'm supposed to hit things with magic from a distance. There we go. That's a decent formation. A trembling, sickly creature emerges from the dark, clutching a spear. Knobby elbows and thin ribs show through its scaly flesh, but you recognize it as a Zorup. It watches you cautiously, breathing in ragged sighs. Aw, the Pillars of Eternity equivalent of kobolds. It's okay. I won't hurt you. The Zorup recoils, fingers still wrapped tightly around its spear. The creature cocks its head and approaches you, a soft clicking sound emanating from the back of its throat. The creature sniffs around you and finds nothing of interest. It steps back and resumes its defensive posture. I will raise my arms and stand still. The creature does the sniffing thing again. And I will slowly back away. The Zorup watches warily as you go. Alright, so we'll leave him be. We don't really have any reason to fuck with him right now, so let's keep exploring. Let's go this way. Ooh. Look at the tiles. What are those symbols? Got some interesting symbology here, like belts, spirals, things I just frankly cannot be fucked to try and give descriptions to. But it does look like we have a way to sort of get around where the Zorup was hanging out over here. So we can kind of get past him. Oh shit, what the fuck is an Anguithin relief gem? It's just a fucking gem. Ooh, a tattered journal. I'll take that. We got crossbow, leather armor, and a torch that we'll put in the treasury. Pause the game. and read this journal. This small folio is torn in several places, and blood is soaked into several of the sheets. One later entry is still legible, however. I can't believe my luck. A few rounds of dice and I've got my hands on a genuine Engwithan artifact. Fellow who had it said it was a pretty nothing as far as he's concerned. He's not willing to go digging in some ruins, but if he's right about this gem leading to a hidden treasure, then that's worth sneaking past a few painted elves. I'll head to Silent Lee's in the morning. Hold on a second, I need to... Silent Lee's in the morning. Then it's just a matter of finding the relief he was talking about. Okay. Oh, fuck is that thing? Well, it's dead. A hatchet? Look at the wall. A crack runs along this wall from floor to ceiling. A light gust of air passes through it. Well, we've got a hammer and chisel. Let's use that. You set to work. The cracks lengthen and widen with your efforts, but the process is more taxing than you'd expected. Sweat beads your forehead and your muscles begin to ache. Continue chiseling at the wall. After several long moments, you begin to see light on the other side. With one final tap, several blocks of stone shift, then tumble loose, clearing a gap just wide enough to pass through. You have lost an item, hammer and chisel. Aw. Not at all durable then, huh? Alright, what do we got in here? Alright, Heoden is saying he can scout ahead, so we will send him ahead in stealth mode. Alright, we no longer require stealth mode, we require killing. Excellent. We have committed murder against a weird thing. But as it is a weird thing, does it really count as murder? Are we guilty of a heinous crime for killing a weird thing? Do you feel that? There's a draft coming through that wall. I don't hear any sign of that storm either. Nice. Okay, maybe we're finally fucking out of here. Oh, spiders! They got spiders. They need to die. Arachnophobias rise up. Kill them. Ba 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 ba. The spiders are dead. Weird thing terminated. And still not guilty of murder. Just no one's going to react to that, are they? Okay. Fair enough. It's not a good joke anyway. Well, another spider. Kill it. Okay. Apologies for some of the music cutting in and out. I was rearranging a few things on my screen. Let's see here. Oh, what's in here? Bloodstone. Ooh, and a rapier. I'll take that. Alrighty. Okay. Now, I was told that there was a relief in here. Before I leave to start exploring more of the place, I want to see if I can find this relief and use that cool gem that I found. So let's go exploring, shall we? Let's have a look around. Let's have a peek. Stick our nose in the places where it doesn't really belong. Look at them go! Alright, does this door open? It does. Fantastica. That roundish symbol. Pretty sure I saw it in one of the tiles back in there. Roundish symbol. What roundish symbol? What are you talking about? This room is all dark until I look at it. Ooh, murals. This mural must be ancient, yet the colors are still bright and vivid. It shows a procession of Engwithans from all the Kith races. Amawa, elf, Orlan, dwarf, and human. They walk among pillars similar to the ones that span this chamber, each one topped with a flame. Can these be lit? Ah. We can light these braziers and something will happen. Ostensibly, something will happen. Presumably. Potentially. Possibly. Delusionally. Ooze! We're going to kill the ooze! It spat on me! The ugly bitch! I have been spat upon by a black ooze. I'm gonna steal its body. Ooh. What's this? A viscous slick of something dark and tar-like runs down this wall. The shapes and bulges in the ooze suggest that something lies beneath it, but you cannot tell what. Use your water skin to clear off the ooze. I think I shall. You rinse the ooze away, revealing an intricate relief of a man's face. There it is. We were looking for that. The sunburst surrounding it is chipped away in places, but the details of his head, from the tight curls of hair to the ridges of his pointed ears, still showcase remarkable craftsmanship. One socket is empty. A gem fills the other. We have a gem that we got earlier, and we are going to put that in the other eye socket. The chamber begins to rumble, stray rocks dancing across the tile floor. Finally, a large section of the wall gives way. Ah, hell yeah! Treasure! And ooze! Kill the ooze! The ooze is dead. What is in the room? We have a minor cloak of protection. We have an amethyst. And we have Audra. And also just some ooze gunk, that's fine. Alright. What is this? Okay, a poleaxe. Alrighty. We found the relief. I believe that means it is time for us to get the fuck out of here. We've done what we came here to do. Let's leave. Let's leave. Let's leave. You know, we've been here long enough. Let's leave. Let us withdraw. I just also realized that the chat overlays slightly with my there we go. Okay, one moment while I fix this. There we go. Okay, that's better. There we go. Now this actually almost looks vaguely like a professional streaming environment. Except it doesn't, because I'm not a professional in any way, and no one should treat me like one. Ah, finally, an exit. Ooh, loading screen. Cool. Where are we going? And what have we here? This map doesn't require discovery. It's already all filled in. Very nice. What have we got? Let's go. Oh, cutscene. 4 figures stand before an otherworldly apparatus, an ancient structure of chiseled Audra and metallic veins, ominous and looming like a silent observer. Standing motionless in their midst is what appears to be a human body, colorless as stone or ash. The other figures gaze upon it in what might be contemplation. From your vantage point, you are well obscured from their view. The figure closest to the machine stands out among them. A thick gray beard frames a face otherwise hidden beneath a metallic mask. His faded robes are embroidered with a runic language unlike anything you have ever seen, and he wears a strange black headdress with 2 protrusions that jut out like the wings of some malevolent creature. He addresses the petrified body. Oathbinder, bear witness, and see this man has kept his word, true to his last breath, full to his blood's last drop. Guide his soul, queen that was, and regard it among your favored. Let his life by the key be his confession. Let his death by the key be his absolution. May he walk the world ever free of the crushing weight of the book. Lot of proper nouns in there. The man passes his gaze over the others standing around him. Your brother has done his part, and you have seen the power of his contribution. I will accept no further hesitation from the rest of you. He looks each in the eye in turn. In the sight of the queen that was, will you fulfill the oath? Will you take your place beside your brother in the endless esteem of her memory that is without flaw? Step forth, and be assured of the great worth of your life's course. Ooh, we're seeing something spooky. What are you? I mean, yeah, priests tend to be. Oh! It's a barbershop quartet of dying people. For an instant, the apparatus goes quiet, and the air is still. Then, all at once, it erupts with a concussive surge. Light floods your vision, and you are knocked to the ground. Your head snaps back as you land, and pain wells into the back of your skull, washing your last thoughts away into the black, unconscious void. You open your eyes to a different place, another time. You stand in a circular room, grand and domed, its walls lined with Audra and trimmed with copper. The style is ancient, but the chamber is unweathered. At the far end, a great pillar of Audra pierces the floor from below, its shimmering texture giving the illusion of boundless depth. Encircling the pillar is an apparatus much like the one you have just seen, but immense and multifaceted and intertwined. Your thoughts are yours and not yours. And they seem to exist before you think them, and they are all questions, pressing questions, troubling questions, questions that must be answered or... At the base of the pillar now, you see a man with a thick gray beard and ceremonial robe, crowned with a strange ornamental headdress. You know this man. You are walking towards him now, at a pace that is hurried while trying not to appear so. You have something to ask him, one question above all, and the question spins madly in your mind. You awaken to find your malaise has broken, only to be replaced with something far more concerning. Faint whispers are audible at the edge of your hearing, like a ringing in your ears that does not subside. Movement flits through your periphery, but when you turn to look, you can see no sign of whatever it was. You find your gaze regularly darting this way and that, an involuntary paranoid tick. If this is a sickness, it may be dangerous to go without treatment for long. The figures on the machines stand frozen in place, flesh and blood replaced by cinders and ash. The man who led them is nowhere to be seen. Heoden and Kaliska lie bloody on the uneven cobbles. their bodies twisted unnaturally in death. You are alone and far from help. Gilded Veil may be your best hope of receiving treatment before things get worse. Well, shit. That ain't good. But I've leveled up. So let's level up. Now, I know what all of that meant because I've played this game before. But no spoilers. Hush, hush. So, skills. We have 6 skill points we can distribute. I feel like as a mage and a blacksmith, we would have points in our lore and our mechanics because that just makes sense. But also we come from the harsh and inhospitable environment of the White That Wends. So survival also. So our lore and our mechanics we shall jump to 3 and our survival to 2. Next, we can pick a spell. And this time we're not going to randomize it. We're going to pick Magic Missile. Because we're going to pick Magic Missile. Alright, now we get to pick a talent. There are talents specific to our class, offensive talents, defensive talents, and utility talents. I'm on my own for the moment, so it might be a good idea to start with something that will give me some survivability. But then again, I'm playing on story mode, so you know what? Fuck it. Ah! I almost knocked my microphone into myself. You know what? Yeah. Let's do Veteran's Recovery so that we get the fighter's passive endurance regeneration during combat. Give us a bit of survivability. And there we go. We are now a level 2 wizard. Have a potion. Sorry, guys. God, those whispers. Oh! Oh, goodness. That was a person being tortured. That was a person on a rack. Oh. Let's just get rid of the ah! Right, so this game is dark. Y'all need to know that. This game, it gets pretty horrific at times. Okay. So, this is the main region here, the Deerwood. And we're trying to get to Gilded Vale. We said to Kaliska before she died that we were trying to get to Defiance Bay. And honestly, at this point, that might be our best bet for treatment for whatever the hell's going on. But Gilded Vale is on the way, so that's where we're going to go first. But to get there, we have to go through the Vale Wood. And it will take us 6 hours to get to its edge. So let's go. Figuring we'll get to town and then we'll take a little break for water, cough drops, bathroom, maybe some lunch because it's getting on towards my lunchtime. Cross the Valewood. Oh, there's a corpse here. Camping supplies, always handy. Just follow the road for the time being. What was that? That was someone running. Y'all saw that, right? There's someone running. Who was that? Where'd you go? They're fucking gone. More of those weird hallucinations I seem to be experiencing. The grass is still flattened behind this wagon's wheels. Barrels of cabbages, potatoes, and squash have been overturned and abandoned. So what you're saying is someone just fucking left their shit everywhere. Ooh, Money. Camping supplies. Don't mind if I do. Oh? Who are you? This man appears to be hurriedly dismantling his camp in quick, jerky movements. He looks up as you approach, his expression tense and drawn. Greetings, he says, a little breathless. On your way south, is it? He wipes his brow, turning to face you. The sooner you're clear of these woods, the better, I think. Never mind the woods. There's a strange machine in the ruins up north. There are these figures clad in black performing some kind of rite. The man's brow furrows in concern. Ruins? The old Engwithan place? Oh, you'll want to keep clear of those, whatever you saw. Strange things always crop up around Engwithan sites. I don't doubt those people you saw were up to no good. Let the Glonfathans deal with it. They don't take kindly to trespassers, whatever their intentions, and there's enough to worry about in these woods as it is. His expression falls. We came across a bear in a cave to the north. Got the better of a friend of mine. I only just made it out with my life. In any case, this forest already cost me a friend. I'm heading home before it takes anything else. Who are you? Name's Nonton. Born and raised in Gilded Vale. Haven't had a spot of luck since. His face twists. Luckier than Pearly, I suppose. Pearly? What happened to Pearly? Your friend, I take it? He didn't see her coming. Nonton's voice shakes a little as he speaks. We were following a stag. Pearly. He saw something in the brambles, and we went tearing off after it. We all but stumbled into the cave. Poor Pearly didn't stand a chance. The bear was on top of him before we knew what was happening. The beasts will take what they will, I suppose. He smiles sadly, and this time Gallowayne's favor fell upon the bear. Where did you find this bear? In a cave, ways up that way. He turns to point to the northwest. I would not seek it out if I were you. It was a great brute of a beast. Would hate to hear that it took another life. Fair enough. And I have my own problems to deal with, and I am not inclined to be tampering with nature. Stride onward to Gilded Vale. Take care of yourself and farewell, Nonton. To Gilded Vale. Another 8 hours to complete the journey. Ooh, this town looks like it's seen better days. Look at that. Look at that loading screen art. This place looks decrepit. I do so enjoy the music in this game. It's very understated. And there are those spooky whispers again. Onward we go now. Onward we go. Oh dear word, that's a lot of people. A lot of corpses on that tree. Ay. Oh. A man approaches you, his skin as dull and gray as the desolate village behind him. He scans you with sunken, lifeless eyes. You must be one of the new settlers. His voice is a dry croak. Welcome to Gilded Vale. You will be pleased to know we've had some recent vacancies here. He glances at the gnarled, leafless monstrosity of a tree next to him. I feel at home already. His gaze swivels back to you. Of course, we'll need to make some inquiries first. The inestimable Lord Rydrick VII has taken great pains to insulate our town from Widewind's legacy. He appraises you over a half-moon spectacles and scratches his chin. Have you ever conceived a hollow-born child? What are you talking about? An infant born without a soul, of course.
Lord Rydrick has made it his first priority to eliminate this scourge from our village. I should warn you, stranger. Here in Gilded Vale, we have a special place for dissidents, charlatans, and those who would hide a curse in our midst. He steps to the side and inclines his head ever so slightly toward the deformed tree. His lordship's wife is with child, and due any day now. Without his approval, I shan't be able to find you a permanent settlement. It will have to wait until after the birth. He folds his arms. We can continue our interview then. After the bell tolls from Rydrick's hold to signal my lord's new heir. In the meantime, you can find temporary accommodations at the inn just southwest of here. You said something about Hollowborn and Wydwin's legacy before. What is that? He blinks. I forget that you foreigners do not have this curse in your homelands. The Hollowborn have been a scourge upon the Deerwood for almost 15 years now. He lowers his voice to a whisper. Children born without souls. He shakes his head. Pitiful, dumb things that breathe barely, but do not truly live. Some say the Hollowborn are a disease. Some say they're a punishment from the gods. He raises his empty hands. In truth, no one knows. But they began spreading after the Saints' War, and so the name Wydwin's legacy stuck in honor of that foul, blasphemous pretender. His voice shakes with vitriol. Lord Rydrick's decrees may seem strict at times, but he has our best interests at heart. He nods. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to ask. It's important that everyone in Gilded Vale understand our rules. Before I got here, I saw several people conducting a strange ceremony near some ruins. He regards you carefully. You'll want to mind where you mention that. Trespassing on Engwithin ruins is illegal, not to mention dangerous. You probably saw someone attempting some new ritual to appease the gods. People will try anything these days. Beareth have mercy, we certainly have. I don't think so. Just as they finished, there was a Buick. He polishes spectacles on his sleeve. If you had been that close to a Buick, you wouldn't be standing here. Fine, one more thing. After the Buick came and went, I've been feeling strange. Is there someone in town who could help me? The magistrate frowns. Whatever your problem, it sounds like a matter for an animancer. However, the only animancer in Gilded Vale isn't in any condition to speak. He points at a body hanging from the tree. He sneers. Consider yourself fortunate. After she failed Lord Rydrick, we saw to it that she wouldn't profit from the misplaced trust of others. A bad cure is often worse than none at all. But if you're set on finding a bottle of troll piss or a dead Adra pebble to rub on your forehead, you're welcome to check her pockets. A little corpse stink is nothing when you're digging for shit. My advice, however, is to be satisfied that you escaped and leave it at that. Charming little dick, aren't you? Fine. Goodbye. Ergiet nods curtly. Keep out of... Listen! Tootles. Let that be the last. 3. Gods of mercy.
Urgiet looks out toward the east, his expression unreadable. He blinks slowly and turns his attention back to you. It seems your arrival is ill-timed. 3 bells toll only for the death of a Rydrick. I fear Lord Rydrick's heir is lost, or else hollowborn and so lost all the same. A peculiar spasm crosses his face, and the corner of his mouth quirks up into a mirthless smile. You should tread carefully. Circumstances have changed a great deal.
What happened?
He shrugs one bony shoulder. I will know more details when the messengers arrive. The vagaries of childbirth, perhaps. But that is not your concern.
What do you mean?
You come to us at a time of mourning. The legacy has struck at the heart of Gilded Vale. Our efforts to redeem ourselves in the eyes of Bareth must be redoubled. He sets a steady gaze on you.
I assume this affects the Lord's offer to new settlers.
I can be sure of nothing right now. I would advise you to get some rest. The inn, or a stable for all I care. Find me afterwards. I will know more soon enough.
Fine. Farewell.
Charming fellow, isn't he? Well, we have been through some shit, so I say let's take him up on the offer and head to the inn. We've got some spare coin we can blow. Then we can start looking around. You see 4 people gathered by the door to the inn. Their raised voices and chopping gestures suggest an argument reaching its climax. The first figure raises his hands for calm. His face is partially obscured by a hood, but his height and stature suggest an elf. I meant no offense. Let's put this matter to rest over a round, shall we, my treat? The others, 2 folk men and an elven woman, don't look convinced. The woman crosses her arms. Hoping to soothe our pride with a few Aedra coppers, eh? She spits at his feet. We don't need your coin. I'm not going to say anything. This isn't my business. One of the other men glares at the hooded elf. His eyes are red from drink, but his gaze is focused. You got a lot of gall mocking us in our own village. We don't take ill treatment from foreigners, especially not Adirans. The second man thrusts his chin at the elf. He stinks of sour ale. Go on. Say it again. I'm itching for an excuse. Fie, you're itching for the kindling touch of your sister, you cocksfeather. A collective cry of outrage rises from the 3 locals. The second man snarls. I'll cut that barrel-licking tongue out of your head! Horror and shock paint themselves across the elven man's face in broad, hasty strokes. This is a misunderstanding. I didn't say... He frowns and swallows. Whatever it is you think I said. He plants his feet, and something surly and raw flickers through his eyes. We've nae quarrel. The elven woman draws a blade. That's where you're wrong. Back down, all of you! This is absurd! No one gives us orders, foreigner. They squint at you through red, bleary eyes. It sounds suspiciously like you're defending him. You know what? Fuck it. Fire. As the last of the attackers falls, the elf turns to you, the tension almost gone from his smooth face.
Not quite how I hoped to get to know the neighbors. Thank you for your timely assistance with that, awkward situation. You mean for slaughtering them? Nah, I won't pick that. Glad I could help. He gives you a quick smile. Courtesies are a pleasure in these parts, though your accent suggests that you're no more local than I. He straightens his hood, and you note the remains of fraying embroidery on his gloves. His boots are caked with the dirt of many months' travel, but the leatherwork beneath it is sturdy and fine. I suppose introductions are in order after that little fiasco. Aloth Corficer, at your service. How'd you manage to get stuck out here? He laughs uncomfortably. That is something of a long story. I'm a wizard by training and an adventurer by necessity. I was born in the Seathwood, part of the mainland of the Aedir Empire. Both of my parents served the nobility, which afforded me an education for which I am grateful. However, there were no open positions in those houses, and so I decided to seek new means in a new land. And how exactly did you come to be here? I was traveling with a caravan. We were separated near some ruins. Ingwithan ruins. Those can be dangerous places during the best of times, which these are not. Half the locals would arrest you for trespassing, and the rest would kill you outright. He leans in closer. I'm curious. What exactly did you find there? Several hooded figures operating a strange machine. Aloth goggles at you silently, apparently assessing your earnestness. Finally, he gives you a clipped, awkward laugh. You do manage to find yourself in rather interesting predicaments. Just how did you manage to cross those three drunks? I am afraid that was a matter of misunderstandings and mistranslations. He tenses his fingers and looks away. It doesn't help that people in these parts remember their war with Aedir like it was yesterday. You did make a rather lewd suggestion regarding one of the aggressors and his own sister. Ah, that. He clears his throat and adjusts his sleeves. As I tried to tell them, they misheard me. Happens all too easily after a few pints, and the accent doesn't help. No, I heard the same thing. For just a moment, he looks as if he's about to say something else. His expression brightens with mischief, but before he can speak, he forces a tight smile, biting his lips so hard you expect to see blood. Finally, his face relaxes, and he shakes his head. I should speak more clearly next time. My apologies. What are you doing in Gilded Vale? An excellent question. He folds his arms and frowns, looking toward the center of town. I came looking for fresh air, and she planned. Instead, the magistrate gave me directions to the inn and a story about the local lord's expectant wife. He cocks his head, looking at you. But I take it that's a familiar tale. And you? I've been experiencing strange things of late. I'm looking for an expert on souls. Would you happen to know of one? His eyes flicker as he looks you up and down. Indeed. The local lord has searched far and wide for similar specialists. He has rid himself of them almost as desperately. He nods at the gnarled old tree at the center of town. His darting glance takes in the tumble-down buildings and the fallow, rock-strewn fields. I expect that such expertise would be best sought elsewhere. Then elsewhere is where I should be going. As should I, given recent events. It's just as well. I've had enough of the watered wine and lumpy beds at the inn. He wrinkles his nose. They say even the owner tired of the place. Just up and left one day. Explains it quite a lot about the upkeep. He gives you a guardedly hopeful look. Perhaps I could join you. I could use a change of scenery, and I find it better to travel in numbers. Two wizards. Interesting party composition. What do you all think? Should we recruit the elf?
As a reminder, the inn is quite literally right here, so we can recruit just about anyone, but this guy does come with a storyline attached. So... what do y'all think? There are like 5 of you right now, aren't there? You all can hear me, right? Just making sure. Well, while you guys sort out your opinions on this, I will be right back. I'm going to get myself some water and a cough drop because my throat is starting to get sore from all of this dialoguing. So I will be back in a bit. I am back. And we've got only a single response in regards to whether or not we should get this elf into the party, and that is from Quentin Jones saying recruit. So, recruit we shall. So do I. Let's go then. Excellent. I shall follow you. Alrighty. Money and things we can sell. Leaving just naked corpses on the ground.
Oh, greetings and welcome to the Black Hound Inn.
The innkeeper bows her head curtly.
Please sit where you would like. Would you like a drink or a room? We have 2 available at the moment. I'm afraid we can't offer much by way of a good meal today.
She sighs.
Unless you're fond of cold porridge.
Let's do some selling of things that we don't need. So, this fucking gun is disappointing. It's weaker than my wand. There's a reason it is called the Disappointer, so we shall sell it. We'll keep the cloak. I want my cloak. Okay, add. Just sell all of this extraneous gunk that I'm not using. And make a bunch of money. Alright. So we have 2 wizards right now. It's an interesting party composition. But let us now take a nice, expensive in-room. Oh. Purple. Your sleep is restless and fevered, assaulted by hisses and whispers, blanketed with a suffocating anxiety. You open your eyes to awaken and find yourself in front of Gilded Vale's gallows tree. The creaking of its ropes growing louder in your mind until the sound is deafening. Hanging from the tree is an old dwarf woman whose face has shriveled inward like a moldering fruit. Her head hangs limply to one side. As you look at her, she looms larger and larger in your mind until she is mere inches from your face. Suddenly, her head snaps up, and her eyes open, and they are empty. Oh, hold on. Something happened. Something weird. I grabbed the wrong dial on my audio adjuster. Suddenly, her head snaps up, and her eyes open, and they are empty, and behind them is a vast nothingness that makes your stomach drop. Her mouth slowly parts, and with a gust of rancid air, she speaks a word. Watch her. You jolt awake, the foul smell of the dwarf woman's breath still permeating your nostrils. Sweat runs down your face in thick droplets, and your skin is soaked from head to toe. You remember the woman. You remember seeing her decaying face when you spoke with the magistrate. He called her an animancer. Though it fills you with a new queasy apprehension, you feel a strange compulsion to see this woman once more, if only to confirm that she is truly dead. Alarming. Very alarming. Very alarming indeed. Okay, so real quick, I'm gonna save. Should probably be saving more often. But before we proceed much further, just want to say, I think I'm starting to get to a point where I want to stop. We've been going for about 2.5 hours, and it's been fun so far, but it's getting really obnoxiously too damn hot in here, and I have to keep my door closed while I'm doing this to, make sure I'm not disturbed by, like, my cat or my grandma or anything else. And it's just getting to a point where the oven of my computer and my own body heat and the temperature outside and everything, it's getting to be a bit too much. So let's wrap up this next conversation, and then I think that's where the stream is going to end. Oh, hold on, there's a guy here. Fun fact, if I'm remembering correctly, this guy is voiced by Matthew Mercer. But we don't have Matthew Mercer here. We have me. I don't even come close to measuring up to Matthew Mercer, but I will do my damnedest. Were you looking for someone in that tree? I could introduce you.
Strange way to talk about your dead.
He looks up at the tree and breathes out. Half the town's up there now, seems like. No right way to talk about it.
I'm looking for someone who can help me feel better.
He gives an understanding nod as he takes a long drag from his pipe. My condolences. He exhales and turns his attention away, watching the village around him. All right. Dwarf woman. The squat, distended body of an elderly dwarf woman dangles from a thin, crooked bow that sags at the tug of her noose. The bloated purple flesh of her neck, worn away in patches like moth-eaten linen, bulges over the rope that suspends her, and her lifeless head lolls forward rigidly from one side to the other when the breeze shifts. You perceive a faint glow around her that casts no light on its surroundings, but there is a tepid warmth to it. And you feel somehow that you could reach out and touch it, not with your hands, but with some aspect of yourself that has no worldly dimension. We shall reach out for the woman. Sound effects. You take a deep breath, clearing your mind, focusing on your objective. As you exhale, you feel yourself spreading out toward the hanging woman, perceiving all that lies between you and her with new, unfamiliar awareness. Once you have expanded enough to reach her, there is a sudden jolt to your mind, a ringing, electric surge of images and words and sounds. Involuntarily, you shut your eyes and feel yourself being pulled down to some deeper consciousness in a space occupied only by you and the hanging woman. And when you open them again, she is staring at you with eyes clouded in a milky fog, her body still swaying in a wind you can no longer feel from a tree that stands planted in a misty void. The woman gives a slow nod of her head, the rope creaking as she does so, and she smiles at you. Have you come here for me, dear? Or have you gotten lost? Her eyes squint as she peers down at you. Ah, it is both, I think. Yes?
Am I imagining this?
She considers for a moment, looking down at her own limp body.
No, I think not.
Her tongue clicks and she shakes her head.
A pity that. It would be simpler, a mercy even, to not have to wonder any more, no. Alas, we are here, you and I, wherever here may be. How are you able to speak to me?
Caldera moves her tongue around in her mouth as if testing it.
Is that what we're doing? Perhaps it just seems that way. Perhaps it is the easiest way for your mind to make sense of it.
She gives you a motherly smile.
I think it is a very good choice. I need to understand something that's happened to me.
She nods, a look of pity on her face as though consoling a child.
The world looks a little different than it used to. Is that it? Feels like you're noticing things for the first time that have always been there.
She nods.
You have seen past the shroud. It only takes an instant. Your soul remembers, yes? Remembers how it sees when it leaves the body. Like being reminded of a dream you had forgotten.
She nods again.
You are a watcher now. And a watcher you will stay. What's a watcher? What indeed? Long hours of many animances spent studying such things. Not I, though, not I. I'll tell you what I know, though, since fair is fair, and here we are visiting, you and I, and it reminds me of better times. Souls pass on. Some say through Adra stones, which are the blood veins of the world. They leave the world for a time and are reborn into it. Sometimes more than they were before, but usually less, and seldom the same. For all souls there is a time when they do not live, yet have not passed on. And those souls roam the world, the same as you or I, either leaving or lost. But no one sees them, because they have forgotten how. A watcher sees, knows what to look for. And sometimes they know a person just by looking at them. Know where they've been in ages past, when their bodies were other bodies. See memories even their owner cannot recall. A wonder to behold when all goes well. A wonder. What do you mean when all goes well? Oh, nothing to be afraid of, I'm sure. It's just much to take in for some. Sometimes there's trouble sleeping or other difficulties. She smiles at you reassuringly, fanning out a tuft of long whiskers that sprout from one of her cheeks. An inspired gleam crosses her murky eyes. You should see old Merwald. He could tell you much more than I. A watcher, just like you. Helped many in his day. Took up in an old keep no one would claim. Not far, not far. Cade Nua, beyond the Black Meadow. He will welcome the company. All of this started when I survived a Buick. Do you know how that could be? Cadera praises you with scholarly interest for a moment, before resuming her cheerful demeanor. Did you now, dear? My, that would be something, wouldn't it? Could be luck, could certainly be. A storm can be a careless thing. Or maybe it got its hands round your soul, but couldn't pick it up. A soul can be heavy if it stayed in one place through its time. Strong souls, we call them in the trade. She smiles sadly at the thought. Called them, I mean. Called them. Those days are all behind me now. No? You said souls break apart over time? Oh, yes. Entropy. Rimgran's work. We know little of why or how. We lose pieces of ourselves when we die, and pick up pieces of others when we're born again, but less than what we lost. We've tried to stop it with the animatic sciences, but have met with little success, oh no. A very small few resist Rimgran's influence and stay together through some force of defiance, at least for a time. But they all succumb eventually, I think. I want to know something about you. Oh, me? She shakes her head in protest. I'll bore you to tears, though. Talking to a dead woman. Let me have the honor. Who are you? She breathes a mild sigh, sending a small beetle skittering from inside her cheek. And here I thought you'd come to visit me in particular. Her arms turn outwardly stiffly in what may be a curtsy. A Caldara de Baranzi of the Valian Royal Academy of Animantic Sciences. Not the greatest of their number, but I came here all the same, because this was where help was needed. What is an animancer? I keep hearing the word, but I'm not familiar with it. A student of the soul. Something so basic, it's so poorly understood. But so many breakthroughs have been made in my lifetime. She chuckles. Had been. To hear the locals tell it, we're a gang of soul manglers that prey upon the weak-minded. And the worst of us are, but the best of us, the best. Inspirations. Miracle workers. My parents were soul twins, miserable before they met, empty inside. It was an animancer who helped them find each other, turned their lives around. You wouldn't believe the stories. Amnesiacs helped to remember their lives. The suicidal brought back from the brink of oblivion. The elderly afforded extra moments to say their goodbyes. How soon we forget when we are afraid. It's a fascinating science. A fascinating time to be alive in a place like Deerwood that does not control the research, no? I loved the Valian republics for many things, but their recent caution will leave them behind, I fear. And what happened to you? She laughs, a rasping, choked cackle escaping between rows of buttery, yellow teeth, causing her body to bob up and down with each spasm. Seeing your blank expression, she catches herself. Oh, come now. Such a question, as though the answer weren't plain as a rope tied for strangling. Allow an old dwarf a last bit of cheer. Well, I came where I was needed, didn't I? Offered my services to Lord Rydrick for a pittance. A humble pittance. I was to examine the Lord's wife. See why the gods have seen fit to poison her womb. Studied her for months. Looked high and low for impurities. Tested her valence, the permeability of her essence. Do you know what I found? Tell me. Nothing at all. A healthy woman, head to toe, blessed with a beautiful soul. Such a sweet woman, too, meek but warm-hearted. A few months' time, the lord of the house demanded answers. For a time, I told him what he wanted to hear. Oh, yes, my lord, she is riddled with imbalances. I must have time to cure her. As the birth drew near, he grew impatient, as lords do. And this is where I have ended up. I see. I don't think I want to settle here now. Not with a landlord that volatile. That quick to kill the people living on his lands. I hope you rest in peace. Farewell. Goodbye, my dear. It was lovely visiting. Caldara closes her eyes. Her head slumps forward over the noose, and your surroundings seem to bleed into your vision from some unknown place of waiting. Rhonda Renalia was granted Crucible of the Soul. Eloth looks at you through narrowed eyes. Are you all right? You seemed lost just now. Yes, I'm fine. He folds his arms. Well, that's good to know, but I don't suppose you could tell me what that was all about. Apparently, I'm a watcher. His arched eyebrows recede into his hood. Well, that is interesting. He gives you a sly grin. And I expect this has something to do with the hooded figures in the ruins, In any case, I appreciate your honesty. Since we're traveling together, it's probably wise for us to share these things. Do you know anything about Watchers? Only that they're rare, and that they seem to have unique insights into certain, soul conditions, as you have just demonstrated. Let's continue on. Alright. So,
3 hours in, we are a watcher now. A watcher and a wizard. But what all exactly that means, all the finer details, we'll need to hunt down a man named Merwald for that. But if we are to do that, that will have to be on a different stream, because I am way too fucking hot and my voice has been in use for 3 hours. I need a chance to rest it. So... But, yeah, there weren't a whole lot of you here, but there rarely are because I am a small channel for small people. So thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate your presence. I appreciate your time. Thank you for showing up. And, if we come back to this at some point, then by all means, swing back through. I have no schedule for streaming. Just so we are clear, there is no schedule to this. I just kind of do whatever the hell I want. The only time I scheduled a stream was because it was a stream that I was commissioned to do. If I go live, it's because I feel the impulse. I got the worm up my butt and decided to just roll with it. So don't set any alarms. You're not gonna be rewarded for doing so. But yeah, so thanks for tuning in. I'm gonna go I'm just gonna chug water, because I am secreting so much of it. Thanks for showing up, people. I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Oh no, Chad, you got back just as I was leaving. Oh no, I'm sorry.